So we're in St. Anne's Park today. It's one of the really good habitats for birds within Dublin City itself. So my name's Ricky Whelan. I'm an ornithologist with Birdwatch Ireland. We're down by the pond, which is on the eastern edge, along the coast road right beside Bull Island, just down the road from Clontarf on the coast edge here. St. Anne's Park, within an urban sort of context, is one of the really great habitats within the city. It's a refuge, it's a sort of unofficial nature reserve, if you like. It's a refuge for all the birds, be it the water birds from Bull Island or the normal, more common garden birds that we can hear singing all around us now. So it's got, like I said, it's got loads of habitats from woodland, grassland, it's got the water here behind us, the Nanakin River coming through. It's got really diverse habitats which are create food and nesting opportunities for all the different birds and wider species of biodiversity that we find here. So it's a very important place. So down by the pond, again, it's water, so you're going to expect water birds. So the mallards are quite common here. You see them, they're quite habituated to people and their dogs passing by. Yeah, we're here in St. Anne's Park by the clock tower, right in the middle of the park. There's all around us, we've got pretty typical parkland habitats. We've got the grasslands, the meadows, the trees and the woods and stuff. So we're right in the middle of the breeding season now here in the summer in Ireland. So we've got loads and loads of different species of birds breeding here within St. Anne's Park. One of the most common breeding birds within the park at this time of year, in the middle of the breeding season in the summer, is the blackbird stuff. But certainly in the park they're a very easy bird to see. You'll see them on the grasslands, close to trees, feeding, looking for earthworms for the young. One of the most special birds we find here in St. Anne's is you have to look up. You won't see them sort of on the trees or on the ground. And the reason is the swift, which migrates from the Congo Basin in Africa every year, it's kind of like a large swallow. It's got sickle wings, it's jet black, almost jet black, and it migrates here in sort of May. From May on we see them in Ireland. The really thing that people are most familiar with is the screaming sound they make. They make this screaming call. It's quite synonymous with summer and urban areas because they breed in buildings only. They would have evolved from breeding in trees thousands of years ago. So within St. Anne's Park you've got an awful lot of oak trees, mature oak trees and broadleaf trees, and that habitat is really good for jay. They're a beautiful bird. They're about the size of a magpie. They've got a red sort of pinkish blush chest, and they've got on their wing they've got a really vivid blue, kingfisher blue and white and black barring on parts of their wing feathers. It has a raucous call, and that's what you often hear. They're very skulky. They live in the sort of the treetops of oak trees. Often the best time to see these birds is in the autumn. So one of the most revered birds in Ireland would be the magpie, and people are very suspicious of magpies. They're a corvid, so they're a crow family, and people generally have a suspicion around crows anyway, whether they're sort of all black, they sort of travel in big groups, or they sort of bully the little birds, or whatever people's sort of ideas are of crows. But the magpie has been sort of proved scientifically that wherever they exist in good numbers, the breeding bird of the songbird populations don't suffer because of it. They like shiny things, so they say that the nest often contains sort of bright materials. It's often sort of bits of string, fishing twine, bright things that they've picked up along the way, ladies' hair bobbins, anything like that basically to mesh their nest together. But their nest is a loose sort of accumulation of sticks like most crow nests, so they do sort of gather up things from time to time. But as far as Father Jack's glasses collection in a magpie's nest, I'm not sure if that's the case. Yeah, so I'm stood right in the middle of the central part of St. Anne's Park. To the west of us is a lot of playing pitches and stuff that people will be familiar with. The short grass here in the winter time becomes absolutely really vital habitat and feeding area for the brenkies. Brenkies are a small black goose that winter in Ireland. About 30,000 of them visit Ireland in the winter time, and we have most of that population, that specific population of light-billed brent goose. They breed up in Arctic Canada and they migrate here via Iceland. Or they spend the winter in 10 sites basically in Ireland. If any one of those sites was to be lost, Bull Island being one of them, just a stone's throw from where we are now, they would be really harmful to their population. So we protect them. And they deplete the eelgrass. They hop over into places like St. Anne's Park, the playing pitches, roundabouts, any sort of linear grassland at all that's mowed. And they start eating normal grass, like lawn grass that we see in parks. So the park suddenly becomes the most important sort of survival tool to the geese because they need it. When we're lucky, we have the protection of Bull Island and other habitats, and they're designated. Oystercatcher is what we would know as a water bird because it's associated very heavily with water. It needs to be near the coast. It's a coastal bird. It's also a wader, so it's sort of like, so waders are basically birds on stilts. They've got really long legs because they wade around in the water. A lot of them feed visually on invertebrates. A lot of waders have really long bills, like the oystercatchers. Some people call them carrot bills because it's a big long orange bill that they probe the sand and the silt for different invertebrates, snails and mollusks and all sorts of things. Oystercatchers feed on open fields and grassland later on in the winter when the tide comes in or whatever. So on a high tide, best time to look for them in the park, anywhere with open grassland, especially the pitches and stuff where if there's no games being played, where there's little disturbance, they'll feed there. Best thing you can do for the birds in the winter especially is put out food for them. A mix of different seeds. Peanuts is really high energy, it's really good, a lot of birds eat those. But wherever you feed them, you should give them water as well because they can choke and they do need it to digest food. So we often we suggest a mix of different seeds because you'll get different species in, and feed them during the winter when they're really dependent on your help from humans. So the beauty of St. Anne's Park and the birds that reside here is that you can see them all year round. One of the great things about birds is that they are resident, and at different times of year they form different spectacles. So whether it's spring, summer, autumn, winter, it's always a really good place to visit to see the birds. If you want to get involved with Birdwatch Ireland and volunteer, there's different surveys we'd love for people to get involved with. If you want any more information, the best place to get that is on our website. It's birdwatchireland.ie, and we've got a really good active Facebook page, has all stuff about our blogs, our work, different conservation stuff we do, our surveys, different opportunities to get involved. So that's Birdwatch Ireland on Facebook if you search that.
So hi, now we're back to Tara, who is from Birdwatch Ireland. How are you, Tara?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Good, great, and fantastic weather again. Like for the festival and delight, it's actually holding up. It's brilliant. So tell us a little bit about Birdwatch Ireland, actually.
Well, it's the largest NGO conservation group in Ireland. It's like a really good group to get involved with. They do a lot of local community projects like the Urban Bird Project, the Countryside Bird Survey, which lets people get involved just in their local areas and make a difference. It's also Birdwatch Ireland is about birds, but it's more than that, because birds are an indicator species, which means that if something goes wrong with birds, it means that there's something wrong with the ecosystem as a whole. So its focus might be on birds, but it's letting us know how ecosystems are.
Okay, very good. Yeah, because I know there was a lot of buildings that were built there in the past, like shopping centres and things like that, like which is actually it's hindering the birds in their flight path on a regular basis. So do you do things to kind of try and do you interact with that and try and protest against it as well?
It's more kind of geared towards, as far as I know, it's more kind of geared towards just public awareness and trying to lobby. It does Birdwatch does lobby for changes within government and stuff like that, but a lot of the focus at the moment anyway here in the Rose Festival is on local participation and just getting education and awareness out there.
Fantastic. And is it your first year at the Rose Festival?
Yeah, this is my first time ever doing it, so.
And Birdwatch Ireland, is it their first year here as well?
No, they've been here for a couple of years now, so yeah, they seem to love it.
And how are you finding it so far today?
Yeah, no, it's great. It's really, really good. The atmosphere here is amazing. It's really, really nice. So yeah.
It really is, yeah. And you're going to be here all day until I think 6, is that right?
Yeah, until 6, and then we're here again tomorrow until 6 again. So.
Fantastic. And what does the Birdwatch Ireland stall give to people that are passing by? Do you have anything on display, or is it to sign up and help?
What we have at the minute is we have membership packs, which are great. So you can get memberships for families, for schools, or you can get your own membership as well. And the cost ranges from, I think it's €40 upwards. But with that, you get 3 times a year, you get a magazine. And you also get information packs and a booklet on identifying birds. We also have pins as well, which are really good. They're like €2 for one or 3 for...
Lovely.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then we have fridge magnets and a few other little bits and pieces. And we have information at the stall as well. And if you have any questions, the guys there are great. They seem to know everything about birds, so feel free.
Brilliant. Amazing. And how did you get involved?
I did a wader project down in the Shannon. And I just happened to be on their email list and they emailed me about this, so I came along.
Oh, fantastic. Very good. And do you have a favourite bird?
The hen harrier.
Oh, okay. Tell us about that. I don't think I've heard of that bird.
It's a bird of prey. It's absolutely gorgeous. The male is white, the female is brown and black. They're really critically endangered at the minute and they need our help as much as we can give them. So yeah, they're cool.
And how so endangered? Are they native to Ireland?
They are, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. And where can you find them in Ireland then?
You can find them more so on the west coast, but we have a few on the east coast as well. So yeah.
Oh, very good. And I suppose what would be the most common bird to Ireland? What would be kind of like a standard bird, an Irish bird?
An Irish bird.
Yeah. If there's such a thing. Like the crow.
I suppose the crow's the one you see the most. We have mute swans as well, as you can see a lot of. Sparrow, actually, it's not native to Ireland, but we have loads of them. And robin and blackbirds and different ones. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Well, there's a lot of birds migrating to Ireland on a regular basis as well. Actually, a lot, I think, come to particular places such as, I think there's one that goes to Howth as well, all the time just to graze, and they travel from Canada. How do you think birds actually have that inbuilt navigational system that they know where to go each year?
I know, it's something that scientists actually don't understand. It's something that they're looking into. They think maybe it's a magnetic impulse in the brain, but they're not sure. So it's something that we're still...
That's very interesting. Yeah. Listen, Tara, thank you very much for coming along and joining me here today.